Greetings and welcome to episode 181 of the Words About Gamescast, a weekly video game podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy Alexander, and I'm joined this week by Mr. Moody. And I don't know why, I was just looking at you, and you just suddenly saw you doing that. It's like, it made me laugh.
Didn't do that right. Let's do that again.
Do that again. I need to see.
Yeah. Yes, hello. Thank you for having me back again, Amy. Thank you. 19 away from episode 200. You're almost to the 200s.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there.
I'll hit it. MC Fixer hit it. You can hit it. We can all hit it.
I want to get there sometime in the new year, like February,
Yeah.
March time.
Yeah, something like that. But not
Yeah.
long. Not long.
No,
There's only a few weeks left of this bloody year, so
it's close. I've got a spreadsheet of like working out like what content goes where, and I think we're gonna end the year on 188. Because we take a 2-week break at Christmas and New Year.
Yeah.
To like
My
chill
aim
and
is to
recharge.
Smash. I'm recording basically. Well, I haven't spoken to Foxes yet. To record probably 3 episodes back to back, and then take the 2 weeks off, so we don't record over the Christmas period.
Oh, fair enough.
Basically, but have content ready to drop for the days we normally drop them.
Yeah, that's fair enough. With this podcast, it's like it's a news podcast, right? So like we can't really record in it. Like
What news?
Yeah, what news? What news? It'll be Christmas, like.
The news is, how much turkey did they eat? How many Brussels sprouts?
None. 0. Brussels sprouts are the devil.
Brussels sprouts are delicious.
How dare you?
I love my greens.
No, I like
Broccoli.
greens. I like greens, fair
Yeah.
enough, but
I'm
broccoli,
the only one I think in my family who actually likes Brussels sprouts.
because Brussels sprouts are poison, and they taste like poison.
They taste delicious. I'm gonna have a big old pile of them. I'm gonna tweet it at you.
Great. I'm looking forward to that. I'll tweet you my Christmas dinner with no Brussels sprouts on the plate whatsoever.
Some bacon on it, walnuts, a little bit of seasoning.
See,
Can't beat that, man.
bacon, yes. Walnuts, sure, but just no. Even seasoning, yeah,
Take the
sure.
green part out.
Just take the green part, wrap it around and burn some broccoli, or some cabbage, or some green beans, and I'm good. But no, Brussels sprouts is just where I draw the line. Like,
It's like Marmite in a Brussels sprouts.
It
Now
really
you like
is.
It or you don't. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
no middle ground with it.
it's like Marmite or pineapple on pizza. It's like you're either 100% for it or 0% for it.
Yeah. If anyone puts pineapple on pizza, they are the devil, and we will find them and send them off to Mars.
Well, at least we can agree on pineapple on pizza.
Whoever agreed with that, man.
We found some common ground.
Yeah. Like when I saw the film Inside Out and they put broccoli on the pizza, but then I tried it and I was thinking, it ain't bad because I like broccoli.
Broccoli on pizza would be quite good. I could see broccoli on pizza being a thing. Then like you say, I like broccoli too. So anyway, this is not a food podcast. Although I might start one. This is a video game podcast where we discuss 5 stories centered around what's been going on in gaming, the games industry, and games culture over the past 7 days before we leave you with a list of games that are coming out this week. This week we discuss BlizzCon. Yeah, it's the trilogy. We're completing the trilogy. This is the Return of the Jedi moment. Hopefully, it's not. It doesn't go any further.
Yeah.
We also discussing ZeniMax being forced to hand out refunds over Fallout 76, EA Games returning to Steam, Call of Duty rewriting a historical event, and Microsoft's new upgrade options for its consoles. As always, there are timestamps in the video below in the description. So if you want to watch this podcast in any order you want, if you're sick of hearing about us talking about Blizzard, or if you just want to see specific news stories, you can always just skip around the podcast, watch the whole thing backwards if you want. I asked if anybody actually did that to message me. I didn't get any messages, so I don't think anybody did that. But so at the same time, yeah, I'm kind of glad like people don't watch the podcast backwards.
One day someone's gonna and he'll be like, what?
That made no sense. Which it doesn't make any sense anyway. Should we dive into
Let's get
BlizzCon?
into this.
Okay, number 1. There's a couple of bits to this story. I've pasted this massive thing as part 2, and I don't think I'm going to read any of it, but I put it in there anyway. But number 1, Blizzard president apologizes for mishandling Hong Kong controversy. This is a story by Matt Kim over at IGN, who writes, Blizzard Entertainment President J. Allen Brack appeared on stage during the BlizzCon opening ceremonies and addressed the recent controversy regarding Blitzchung and Hong Kong. Brack appeared apologetic for the commotion the incident has caused and signalled that the ongoing protests will not be affected. Quote, when I think about what I'm most unhappy about, it's really 2 things. The first one is we didn't live up to our high standards that we set for ourselves, and the second one is we failed in our purpose. And for that, I'm sorry, and I accept accountability, Brack said in the opening statement. Brack reiterated that Blizzard's goal is to, quote, bring the world together in epic entertainment, end quote, through the powers of video games, but the message sidestepped any mention of Hong Kong directly. There was a lone Free Hong Kong shout from the crowds during Brack's speech. This is Brack's second statement on the matter following a blog post Blizzard released a few weeks ago that admitted some overreaction to Blitzchung's initial punishment, a year-long ban, and loss of his prize winnings. Blizzard and Brack said at the time that China had no impact on its decision to punish Blitzchung, but that it will lessen his initial punishment to 6 months and restore the prize money. It's unclear how the protesters will respond to Brack's statement and what this means for the ongoing protests that are taking place presently outside the Anaheim Convention Center. Did you see any? I know I asked before we started hit record, but did you see any of BlizzCon at the opening keynote?
A little bit. I have watched Apology. I have watched the Apology.
I'm getting ahead of myself. Apology. Yeah, obviously, like it was my number 1 like priority, like tuning in. Like normally with BlizzCon, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I take it or leave it. It's an E3 for me. Like, it's not at a number 1 priority for me to watch. This year, I was sat here 5:45 before it started. I had a drink, I had food. I was like, I'm ready. I was watching it on a monitor over here. That's why I keep turning over here. And I was just like, I'm ready to watch this because I need to see what they're gonna do. And then obviously, Jalen Brack comes out, says a bunch of words. The apology, if you want to call it that, it was kind of weak sauce. What did you think of the apology?
I give anyone respect who comes out and on stage and apologizes, even if people think it's just a public statement or whatsoever, or if it's just talk and everything. That's fine. That's for me. I respect it. I did not think they were actually going to say anything personally. Didn't think they were going to say anything at all. I thought they were just going to brush it under the table and just continue show off the new games they've showed and everything like that, which we all knew was going to be real because they were all leaked.
Yeah.
The last couple. I liked his apology. I've seen a lot online that's very split. That people are saying, yes, well done for the apology and everything like that. And also something saying, okay, you've apologized, what you're going to do? I don't think they need to do anything personally. I agree. I'm one of the people of that. Okay, you've done wrong. You've learned from this wrong. Learn from it. And they are going to learn from it. I think they're going to stay to what they've put the punishment down for him with a 6-month ban and everything. For me personally, if they do anything different, well done to them, I guess. For them, that's their decision for that, but I don't think they're going to do anything personally. It's just, it's time to they've done it, they've accepted it. People need to make the decision of, are you pro to stay with what they've shown and everything, or are you still not wanting to support them? And which either way, there's no right or wrong way for me. Whoever you decide and everything. I liked his apology. I didn't think they were going to say anything, so I'll say respect them for coming out. Personally.
Fair enough. I mean, he's not Mike Morhaime. Like, I can say that for sure. Like, I figured they were going to do something because I feel like they couldn't. I feel like it would have been worse if they just jumped. Like, if you imagine you take out the bit at the beginning, and it just started with it was Diablo 4 trailer.
Yeah.
That they started so like they called open with that, and then you just rolled into it. I feel like more of the news stories would have been about the fact that they didn't say anything than there would have been about necessarily being about the games that they talked about. So for him to come out and say that, it was kind of I mean, anything is possible with AAA video game publishers, but I kind of expected it.
It's a PR spin. I don't
Yeah,
disagree with it. It's a PR spin. We all know it is. But it takes balls to come up and literally knowing that you have basically probably a hostile crowd out there wanting to know what you're going to say. Some are going to shout stuff, which some of them did. We all knew they were going to. And even they've got protests outside and everything. We
aye.
all know this. So it takes a lot to go out there. Even if you're the boss or not, it takes a lot to go out there and go, we've fucked up.
Well, he
And take
definitely
accountability
couldn't.
for that.
He definitely couldn't have sent anybody else to go out there because that would have been a story in and of itself. Like I don't know. Like I would have been more into the apology if they'd said the words Hong Kong, China, Blitzchung, Hearthstone, like anything. Like I think they mentioned the Hearthstone tournament. They didn't mention Blitzchung by name. They didn't mention what they were apologizing for, like what he was apologizing for. It didn't mention Hong Kong. He didn't mention anything like that. And then towards the end ish of the statement, like I know he mentioned something about like something along the lines of actions speak louder than words, and yeah, they do, and like fair play for them to actually come out and address it in any way, but it was words, like there were no actions, there was no. Like, I wasn't expecting them to come out of BlizzCon and say, this is our 10-point plan for how we're going to change and improve and how we're going to figure stuff out. Yet that comes later, sure. Like, I get that 100%.
All behind doors as well.
Yeah, this is about the games, right? Like, it's whether... I think that there's two base reactions to what happened, like what he said. And I feel like we've got both of them on the podcast. And it's whether... It's whether you can give Blizzard the benefit of the doubt or not, depending on the actions and the reactions over the past few weeks. Like,
that's fair.
I don't really have it in me to give Blizzard the benefit of the doubt based on everything that's happened over the last few weeks. Based on all of the stuff that has happened, not with Blizzard, but like with other companies that have been in similar situations to this, like over the past year, I feel like. When he was talking about the actions speak louder than words moment, I was reminded of a controversy that kicked off a couple of weeks ago. I mean, Keith covered it over 2 separate podcasts with the developers of a game called Ion Fury. I don't know if you heard about this or remember about it, anything about it.
I don't think, I'm sorry, it does come to mind.
No, that's fine. So just as a quick recap, that basically and I'm in no way comparing the developers of Ion Fury to Blizzard. I'm just comparing the situation. When the developers released their game Ion Fury, there was some homophobic language inside the game. This led people to sort of do some digging and find a bunch of homophobic, sexist, transphobic stuff that the developers had said on their own Discord. To which, once it all got brought up, and there were stories, Eurogamer, Kotaku, the words about Gamescast. They made, yeah. That's this podcast. Oh shit! It says it right above my head. They put out a statement, which was kind of similar to the statement Jalen Brack wrote the first time, which was it was a lot of words, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do diversity training for all of our colleagues, and such and such and such. And I remember saying on that podcast the first time when I was talking about it with Keith, like, pretty much what Jalen Brack said at BlizzCon, actions speak louder than words, right? You can say all they want, but we'll see what the developers do. Lo and behold, less than a week later, the developers did a U-turn and decided that they weren't going to censor themselves, and the language that they used was going to stay in the game, and X, Y, Z, etc. So, and while I'm not saying that any of this is equatable to sexism, transphobia, homophobia,
they said they were going to do.
It is a case of I'll wait and personally I want to wait and see what Blizzard as a company actually do going forward over the next weeks, months, and so on. It's going to be a while before we get a new game from them. BlizzCon is any indication.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Do you want to talk about some Blizzard games and what happened next? Because I feel like I've said my piece on that now.
No. I really liked it, even though they are pretty much always the cinematic trailers when it comes to it. But when they show a cinematic trailer for Diablo 4 or Diablo in general, it always looks like one of the sexiest things ever. It looks absolutely brilliant, even though you're not going to be playing like any of that. It's a platformer game that you look as down looking down on it, and I just I'm intrigued. I'm looking forward to it. With me and my partner love Diablo when we played it together, and I think it's always such a fun game. It's to this day, even on consoles, it's played multiple times, constantly, all the time. People always go back to it and have a good play game into it, and I think it's for Diablo 3, so it works. It's I'm looking forward to that. Overwatch 2, I'm not the Overwatch guy. I'm not. I just don't doesn't click for me personally. I'm not a multiplayer battle royale type guy. I know it's not battle royale, but I'm not that type of player. When I rent Call of Duty, I only play the story. I do not touch the multiplayer. Like, I rented Mortal Kombat this year. I only touched the story.
Oh God,
I did not play
yeah,
the multiplayer.
like yeah.
Um,
It's like the only
so,
fighting games I play are the Injustice games. That's just because it's DC Comics.
that's true. It's also very good.
It's also very good. Yeah.
And so for that type of thing, it's the big WoW. I'm not a WoW guy. I'm excited for the people who love WoW and everything, because it always has a very loyal fan base.
This is true.
Yeah, I look forward to it for everybody.
Yeah, cool. Like, I love their cinematics. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand why they don't make their own like series, like animated series, or like no, like they did like the Overwatch short films, like animated shorts every now and again. Like, why don't you just make an Overwatch? Like, because one of the reasons they're doing Overwatch 2, where they're having all of these story missions and hero missions, is because like people want more story and lore from Overwatch, because a lot of people have connected with their characters. Why don't they just make a series of animated shorts, like an actual like Castlevania on Netflix, like, because that would be so good. Because the short that they showed was so good, like regardless, like just putting aside the fact that it's basically just an elongated game announcement, as like the first episode of a TV show, that would have been a really cool first episode. I'm not gonna lie, when like with everything that's going on with Blizzard and Hong Kong right now, when May got injured, and I was like, are they actually gonna kill May? Oh shit! Like, you want to use May as a symbol for freedom?
They won't want more by killing the character.
Oh, that would have been something else. I like, as an Overwatch fan, I guess I can still count myself. I've not played it for a while, for obvious reasons. But I saw the Overwatch 2 thing, and I was like, this is an expansion. Like, this is an expansion that they're masked, because like as soon as they were like, oh, the multiplayer pools will be all in one. So like everybody who like, if I just want to play PvP, like I could still play Overwatch, and I'd be playing against people who were in Overwatch, playing Overwatch 2. And I was like, that sounds like an expansion. I hope they don't try and charge full price for it, but they totally will, because Activision Blizzard, yay.
It's more Activision than anything.
It's just, yeah, okay. I'll give you that one for now.
Until someone out of Blizzard says, no, Blizzard decided this. The man who apologized didn't. They picked the price.
Yeah, Diablo 4 looks cooler.
It does.
I'm with you on that one.
Somehow they'll bring Diablo back in some weird way. You kill him all the time, he still comes back.
It can't be as bad as the launch of Diablo 3 as well. So
that's true. That's true. Well, on PC, on console, it was all right, I believe.
Yeah, and on PC it was Error 37.
Yeah,
I remember that was the meme that was going around.
They like becoming a meme.
I mean, Blizzard like leaning on that shit, right? Like everything breaks when it comes out, apparently. But yeah, like as much as like I'm unenthusiastic about Blizzard as a company right now, like again, it's Blizzard as a company. I'm still really happy for the developers who have been working really hard on things like Diablo, Hearthstone, WoW, Overwatch. To like their stuff is finally getting out there, and they're finally getting to see it. And because it was done at BlizzCon, where it's like the people who were in the crowd are the super fans of Blizzard, like they got the reaction. Nobody was booing Like, I was a bit nervous when they switched to the Hearthstone stage that something was going to happen. But it was all fine. The protests were respectful. They were outside. A couple of people shouted "Free Hong Kong." Twitch chat just spammed "Free Hong Kong" the entire time it was on. I didn't watch any of the keynotes or any of the presentations afterwards. I was literally just there for the keynote, and then I watched some stuff about the protesters outside. But yeah,
from what I know, it's overall gone over pretty well.
they've been pretty respectful from the outside. Yeah. Like PC Gamer, Eurogamer, Kotaku. I've had people like outside talking to them, and they've been talking to people walking in and stuff, and it's all been respectful, which is good. Like, it's good to protest, and it's good to be loud enough so that people hear you. And they even mentioned it like offhandedly a couple of times during the keynote that there was people outside protesting. But you never want to get into a point where it's like people are trying to like block the entrances to BlizzCon, or like trying to harass people as they're walking in. It was just, nope. The protesters are there. They're doing the chanting. They're giving people free T-shirts, and that was about it.
Damn, I knew I should have gone. I could have got a free T-shirt.
Could have got a free T-shirt if you'd gone outside. You didn't even have to go in. You just walk up, get a free T-shirt, turn around, walk away.
Probably get chased off. Yo, you just come for this T-shirt?
Yo, what? What the fuck? You're supposed to wear that inside. I don't have a ticket. Yeah, it was,
that man was passing Usain Bolt. Trust me, that would happen.
if someone was coming for you, just, keep going. Get out of there.
Long.
Should we move on?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's do that. Because I've talked about Blizzard more in the last 3 weeks than I've talked about Blizzard in the last 3 years.
Let's just hope, but I'll finish one final thing. Let's just hope that, like it says, they do learn from it. It is a turning point and everything. If they do actually do something with the Hearthstone player and lower it or whatever, that's fantastic. If they don't, I don't consider it as a bad thing personally. I just think they're going to learn from it and hopefully become better. And that's all we want at the end of the day. You want people to be better. If someone's done something wrong, you want them to be better.
Sure. I have a lot invested in Blizzard as someone who's a fan of Warcraft from like the 90s. So like, yeah, cool. Like, I'm not just like dispassionately sitting back going, oh, fuck Blizzard. It's like, I mean, yeah, fuck Blizzard, but also like I love Blizzard. Like, it's not really like, if they don't do anything with the Blitzstone ban, like they probably won't, because they would have said so by now.
I don't think he would have said something on the stage.
No, personally. I think they would have said something by now.
Yeah.
But like, it's about going forward. It's like the stuff with Riot Games when Kotaku broke that story about the working conditions and behaviors at Riot Games. Yeah. And they came out with their plan and they started doing presentations, and you can see that they're trying to be better. Not wholly succeeding, but you can see that they're trying. That's like, if Blizzard started doing that, I'll be more receptive to it. Just to use a different example to the Iron Fury one, which was like the opposite direction. But let's move on to another story that I can't seem to escape for the life of me. Number 2, Fallout 76 buyers entitled to refunds, Australia rules. This is a story from Owen S. Good over at Polygon, who writes, Fallout 76 buyers in Australia are entitled to a refund under a ruling from that country's Competition and Consumer Commission, published earlier today. Earlier last week, I guess. In a statement, the ACCC said that ZeniMax Media, the parent company of Fallout maker Bethesda Softworks, accepted that their actions are likely to have contravened the Australian consumer law. Consumers who bought Fallout 76 from its November 24th, 2018 launch until June 1st, 2019 can request the refund. If they accept a refund, they'll no longer be able to access and play the game. I'm sure they'll be devastated. Fallout 76 is an always online multiplayer game that requires a check-in to Bethesda Softworks servers on startup. The ACCC statement listed problems with the servers, lagging, graphic and visual problems, as well as faults within Fallout 76 that were significant enough to warrant a refund. ZeniMax, according to the committee, acknowledged that its customer service representatives are likely to have misled certain Australian customers about their rights to a refund when they experienced faults within their Fallout 76 game. When a consumer has purchased a product that has a fault which amounts to a major failure, the Australian consumer law provides them with the right to ask for either to ask for their choice of either a repair, replacement, or refund, the Commission said. Rights to a refund vary by jurisdiction. In the United States, consumer resource typically comes through a seller's policies. The Xbox and PlayStation 4 marketplaces do not offer returns for online purchases. Steam and the Epic Games Store have policies where buyers can get their money back, no questions asked, if they demand a refund within 2 weeks of purchase and with less than 2 hours of gameplay time in the title. Earlier this year, Activision agreed to a settlement refunding buyers of Guitar Hero Live after the company turned off its streaming music library, effectively gutting the game. What are your thoughts on this, Mr. Monsieur Mudier? To give it a French tilt.
It's fair. It should happen. No doubt about it. I think I can see why Australia's laws doing this and everything. With what's happening with their subscription, with what's happening with Bethesda's subscription service and everything. I think a lot more companies or countries should really look into this, possibly as if they have broken the law in our countries and everything like that. If our law says it isn't. It's a pain. I won't deny that, but we couldn't do anything about that at the same time. But if right now Australia's law said it's broke their law, they can get it if they want it. Go for it. If I won't lie, if I had the game and I was in Australia, I would, and I was wanting to maybe do the subscription service, I would always ask for the refund to sign up for the subscription service if I was really into Bethesda and Fallout 76 and everything. But I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, if someone bought the game on launch, if I was offered the option of getting a refund for the game, I would 100% get a refund for the game.
Definitely.
Because, hell, I've got gameplay footage that I recorded for my review from last year where I can point out that was broken, and that was broken, and that was broken. But no, like, this got me thinking, like, not necessarily, about Fallout 76. Like, I think, like, I've said everything that is possible to say about Fallout 76, but more about, like, games in general. And, like, so, like, if you buy a games console or a TV or a sofa, whatever, like, and you get it home and it's faulty, like, you can just take it back and get a replacement, get a refund, like, but when you buy a game, like, you can't, like, unless you're in a very specific set of circumstances. Like,
yeah, they're very over here in the UK. They're very strict. Like, our game puts a sticker around it, and if that's opened, they don't allow it to be brought back at all.
Because they're protecting themselves from people copying games, right? Remember when that used to be a thing? Yeah. Used to copy them. But it does suck a bit, because it's like, shouldn't we be allowed, like, if you get a game like Fallout 76 and it is demonstrably faulty, like, when you put it in your PlayStation, your Xbox, whatever, and you start playing it, like, shouldn't you be able to get a refund on it? Like, if it's a faulty product, right?
Within a certain amount of days. I could appreciate if people have waited after 30 days, standard. If it goes like with the doing a subscription service like what they're doing right now, I can say, go even further than that, because the subscription service has probably been planned for a while. Like, they probably knew about it at E3 last year, and probably even thought about it when they were throwing the game out, the Fallout 76 out 2 years ago. So they knew, or last year wasn't it?
Yeah, it was last year.
It feels like it's been around for like more than 1 year.
Again, it's because we can't stop talking about it.
Yeah, that's how crazy it is, really. But it's when it comes to like the subscription service, I can see people why they would want a refund and everything. And if it's broken, I think a terms condition type thing, like 30 days, like for a lot of things these days, unless it's like come to you broken, like a sofa and everything like that, then yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, because like
get a new one, get a fixed one.
Get
one that works.
I don't know if you can necessarily request a repair.
It does become more different. It's more different for games because we've seen a lot of games these days that have gone out broken, or that games have gone out where it is working, but it is still needs a couple of updates and everything. Like the days of when games came out and they were working.
Yeah, I mean there are levels to this, right?
Yeah, it is. It's silly. I think they need to find a proper level for it. If they know a game's coming out and it's come out glitchy as hell, broken as hell, then I think that could maybe be fixed. And it's going to be a long time, like Breaking Point or even WWE 2K 2019.
Yeah,
Who knows when that is actually going to be dubbed truly playable and without any glitches for the faces or for the animations to be having sex with each other, whatever the hell. I don't know, but there should be something needs to be sorted. If it comes out and it's working, or if it's the game's your disc you've got is broken and you need to return it and get a new one and it works fine, that's fine. If it's like a whole thing of like update after update after update after update after update after update, then I think you need to either be able to get a little bit of a refund if you know it's going to be fixed within like a certain amount. Say within 30 days, you know that game's going to be fixed, properly working. I mean, I'm just picking a number there. It could be shortened either way. Could be the perfect route. If it's like Fallout 76 or WWE 2K, then my goodness.
Shit, yeah.
Fallout 76 still broken today, for God's sakes. People could be like, give me all my money back.
Yeah,
give me money, Bethesda, because I bought you your fucking game.
I bought your stupid game. And everything went black and white.
I droned on a bit. I don't think I came
across
properly
fine.
there, but yes.
It's fine. I get what you're talking about. It is like...
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was reviewing Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and I probably still got the screenshots somewhere on the internet. Like, I could probably access them, but I got that game on PC on Steam, and Black Ops 3 was monumentally fucked for about 2 days when it launched. I remember I was playing it, and like, you know, like Crichton from Red Dwarf.
Hell yeah, Red Dwarf, best show in the world.
So I was playing like Call of Duty, and I was doing like, got to a cutscene, and like you had like Ben Browder's character and like Trisha Helfer was in it, but literally like all the character models like Crichton looked like Crichton, like nothing was loading in on them. I remember like specifically that sticking out in my head. There was issues with like frame rate and stuff. And who made it? Treyarch make Black Ops, I believe.
Sledgehammer?
Sledgehammer did the one with Kevin Spacey in it. That has aged really badly because it has Kevin Spacey in it. Advanced Warfare. Yeah, because I started reviewing them again with Advanced Warfare.
Kit Harington's
Infinite, which was the one after Black Ops 3, and then Black Ops 3 was the one in between. Because I started reviewing them again with the Kevin Spacey one. Aged well. And yeah, it's like they fixed it. So like I was playing it on the Friday night, it was fucked. I left it until like I think even the Saturday night, or maybe the Sunday, and I was playing it and it was fine. Like technically, it wasn't a great game, but that was like, but the technical issues have been fixed. Whereas like with something like Fallout 76 or WWE 2K20, like that's not going to be fixed anytime soon. Like Fallout 76 breaks every time they update it, so there's like levels to it where it's like I wouldn't necessarily have been like going for a refund on Black Ops, but like if, like I said, if someone gave me the option to refund Fallout 76, fucking right, I'd refund Fallout 76.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I can completely understand that person.
But it's like 2 hours is a good. Sorry, to reference like Epic Games and Steam's actual refund policy. 2 hours is a good amount of time to play a game and figure out if it's not for you or not, right? Like, you play a game, you're like, actually, you know what? This doesn't run on my PC, or this isn't the game I thought it was going to be. Like, Aliens, like, if I'd bought Aliens Colonial Marines, I would have realized within 2 hours, like, hell, fuck this, I'm out.
I hope for that game. I cry so much for that game.
It hurts, doesn't it? But,
yeah. Just because I love the lore. I love the
Alien,
franchise.
Right? Like, at least Alien Isolation was born out of that situation. We'll never get a sequel. But yeah, it's like 2 hours isn't like I played Fallout 76 for a lot longer than 2 hours. Like, because like you can't, like, it's very difficult to judge a large game like that in 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Like, how far do you get in Fallout 76 in 2 hours? Like, get out the vault, you walk down the road, like, you might be at the first town, accepting a couple of quests, and you probably haven't done much more than that. It's like, at that point, the disappointing aspects of, like, the most disappointing aspects of the game haven't even revealed themselves to you by that point. And, like, that's true of, like, all large games. Like, I remember I bounced out of Anthem. in less than 10 hours because I've still got time on the trial. As the thing's still in my EA access. But now the whole game's in EA access, it doesn't matter. But it's like, yeah, I bounced out of that quite.
So did I.
It was like 6 or 7 hours probably. It was whenever you get to the quest with the tombs that you have to open. That wasn't 2 hours into the game. That was way longer.
Yeah, that's when they put basically a grind wall on for you.
Yeah.
We gotta make people play this longer.
We've got to pad this out. Like, I was enjoying the story and I was enjoying the game when it worked. Like, I probably would have been, like, if I, like, my opinion of the game would have probably been slightly below, like, media, like, average. Like, it's okay. And then I hit that point and I was like, and I was playing it before it came out, before the day one patch, because obviously EA Access trial. And so they changed it so that, like, because essentially it's like, it's like, oh, you have to do all these challenges, like do this many headshots, collect this many treasure chests, do this many things, and it did when I played it, it didn't count any of the stuff you'd done before you started the quest. So all the trackers are reset at 0 for the quest, and I was like, nope, I'm out. Fuck this. I tried to collect some treasure chests, and I was just like, nope, not happening, because every time I was jumping into someone to a public fly around session, and somebody had already opened all the chests. Every single time. I was like, I'm fucking done. I'm out.
They did not do such good. But speaking of EA, Amy.
Speaking of EA, Mr. Moody. Number 3, EA games are returning to Steam along with the EA Access subscription service. This is from Chaim Gertenberg over at The Verge, who writes, EA will start releasing games on Steam again after it moved away from the popular PC game marketplace in 2011 in favour of its Origin store and launcher. It will start with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, making it the first new EA game released on Steam since 2011. Additionally, EA announced plans to bring its EA Access subscription service to Steam starting next year, allowing players to pay a monthly price for access to a collection of EA games through Steam. Quote, at the core, we are game makers, and our aspiration is to connect as many people as we can to the great games that we build and make it as frictionless as possible for them to do that, explained Mike Blank, Senior Vice President at EA. So with more players playing more games and more platforms, frankly, we want to be where the players are. In EA's case, this means Steam. EA plans to follow up Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order's release on Steam with other recently released games from its catalogue, including The Sims 4, Unravel 2, Apex Legends, FIFA 20, and Battlefield 5. But not Anthem, apparently. Despite the fact... I'd noticed it. They missed it out. Despite the fact that Steam and Origin are PC launchers that run on the same platform, EA is effectively treating the two storefronts as totally separate platforms. For example, if you purchased EA games in the last 8 years on Origin, there won't be any way to transfer those purchases to Steam, even if they're re-released there. EA will, of course, be happy to sell you a second copy on Steam if you're particular about having all your games in one place. EA is also working to allow for crossplay between the Origin and Steam versions of its PC games. That makes sense since they're the same PC game, they're just sold through different stores. New EA releases going forward will presumably appear on both storefronts, so players will be able to choose their purchase for the launcher they want. That split also applies to EA Access on Steam, which is explicitly not the same thing as EA's Origin Access subscription service that it offers through Origin. As the name suggests, EA Access on Steam will apparently be similar to EA's console subscription services, as opposed to the larger catalogue on Origin Access. Whew, I said access a lot there.
You might be talking about something else.
No, definitely. What are your thoughts on that? EA back with Steam.
Overall, this is pro gaming. This is pro. I can't say anything bad for this personally. I can see there's a little caveats of like, if you've bought it on Origin, you will have to buy it again on Steam. I think, no offense, I can see where they're coming from with that personally. This is for me is very pro. With all the crap that like people like Epic got for, or even like for Borderlands 3's Epic launch exclusivity and everything, I didn't realize that you could only get the EA games on Origin. I thought you could get them on Steam as well. I did not realize that personally. Just because I'm not a PC gamer. So this for me, them just branching out, widening out the circle for people to get the games on. You can do it on Steam. You can do it on Origin. I will not be surprised if you hear an Epic one soon.
Yeah, like EA might go to Epic and just be like, "Hey, we want to sell our games on your platform as well," because it's a lot like it's going to be from what I've been reading about this. It's going to be a lot like the way Ubisoft works, where like when they were on Steam and now they're on Epic Games, where you buy the game on Steam or like on Epic Games, and it's in your library on that launcher, but when you play it, you have to have Uplay because it opens up Uplay and then plays the game through that. It's going to be a similar sort of situation where it's like if you buy Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on Steam and then you open it, it's going to open up Origin and then start playing through that, apparently, from what I've read, which makes sense. Like, I've never really found it a big deal. I've got ostensibly, I'm looking at my taskbar right now. I've got 5 PC launchers like on my computer, like Steam, Uplay, Origin, Epic, and Twitch, which is for the free games that Twitch Prime gives away. Like, there's a Twitch app. I just claim them. Like, I log into Epic Games once a week and I claim my games. I log into Xbox Live and I claim my games. I just claim all these games and then I'll be like, oh, I own this apparently on 7 different platforms. Okay.
On 8-1, here you go. Uno 2.
Like, the only one I don't get is PS Plus because I don't subscribe to PS Plus.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do think, ooh, I could just subscribe this month for this game. Then it's like, if I ever want to play it, I have to be a member. And I haven't been a member for about... I was a member for 1 month when Fallout 76 came out because I had to be. And then, like, before that, I can't even remember the last time I was subscribed. Because all my friends...
I think they're going to get a big... They'll probably get a big punch next year for the subscribers. Or uplift, just say saying punch.
Well, the thing about all their big, massive AAA games, just to have a tangent on PlayStation for a second, is they're all single player. So it's like I've never needed to. And all my friends have got Xboxes, and we play on Xbox. Missing
back to it, I think it's very pro. It's just smart business. That's all it is. It's smart business. I know people are very mixed on EA, just like with Bethesda and Blizzard right now, but it's just smart business. This is for me. This just like takes away of it. If anyone like, it's best that they did Steam first instead of Epic. No doubt about it. So when the Epic one comes around, I think when the Epic one comes around, they're just gonna be like, oh, okay, but it's on Steam, so
yeah,
I get to choose where I want it. Yeah, you know, so
just
that's how it's gonna be. But
yeah,
it's what you want. People want it on to be able to consume it in very different ways and everything. Unlike Disney Plus, who just does not want to give it to us over the UK yet.
How dare you, Disney? How am I going to watch the Mighty Ducks films if you don't give me Disney Plus? You monsters. Yeah, like it makes sense it makes business sense to be like in as many different storefronts as possible. Like you want people to be able to see your game no matter what. Like on November 15th, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is going to be all over the Steam front page. Like, because it's the big release on that day. Like, that's not Pokemon, which isn't on PC. And, like, it is interesting while everybody else is abandoning Steam, like, because of the big revenue share, 30%. Like, EA's gone back, but at the same time, they still own and operate Origin. At this point, Origin is kind of entrenched. Like, a lot of people have Origin. There'll be a ton of people who won't even realize that this is a thing. Like, when Star Wars comes out, and we'll just buy it on Origin, because that's where all the EA games are anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But, yeah. EA Access is still... Well, actually, now that Game Pass is a thing, I'm going to revise my statement. EA Access is still the second best subscription service you can pay for. Because it's $3.99, and you get trials of like all their games before they come out.
And I think that will go down even more next year.
Yeah, like it's not the big one that you can get on PC, where it's like you get all the games like Game Pass. But
oh, what I was meaning, I think PlayStation now is going to change significantly next year.
I think they'll change it to launch with the PS5. I think they have to, with Game Pass being what it is and how celebrated Game Pass is, and more people are starting to learn.
I agree. That's what I think they're going to do. So
Like, I was trying to figure out where I was going to get after party because I'm quite skint this month. And I was like, oh shit, man, an after party's coming out. I got to buy after party, and I got a notification on my phone, and it was like, oh, download after party.
Ding,
I was
ding,
like, oh shit, yeah. And then like the week before that, it was like, hey, do you want to download the Outer Worlds? I was like,
Sweet.
yeah. At this point, I'm never gonna have to acquire another game.
That's what they want to do, isn't it?
Like I will only ever have to use fucking Game Pass for this shit.
What we want.
That's hey, Game Pass rocks. Speaking of things that don't rock, number 4.
Controversial segue.
Controversial segue. Actually, just before we do that, sorry, I know I've wasted the segue. What did you make of Anthem not being on the list of games that are coming out on Steam?
I think they don't want to talk about that game. I think they're gonna literally. I will not be surprised if we hear that game is gonna get shut down.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think they could do a Final Fantasy 14 online situation where they shut it down, go away for a couple of years, and then they bring it back, say, within 3 or 4 years. Bang.
And it's turned into Dragon Age.
Yeah.
That's weird. There's dragons in this.
Yeah, if it's like that game, I will be pissed off.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that. I'll make a mental note to invite you back to that podcast
When they talk about it.
Yeah. Anyway, controversial.
They
Well,
have technically started putting in. They said it's going to be like not for at least 2 or 3 years.
Game Awards in a few weeks. So.
Or what? We're going to see another teaser trailer. What's
Yeah.
going to just show the villain, who we already know who it's going to be.
Pretty much. Controversial segue. Number 4. Call of Duty Modern Warfare rewrites a controversial US attack to blame it on Russia. This is from Matt Martin over at VG247, who writes, Call of Duty Modern Warfare takes inspiration from a real-world attack in the Gulf War committed by the United States and spins the story to blame Russia. In the 1991 Gulf War, the strategic roads from Kuwait Highway 80 and Highway 8 became a focal point for conflict known as the Highway of Death. One particularly controversial US attack took place on the Highway of Death, in which more than 350 soldiers, reportedly disarmed and surrendering, were killed. Some reports suggest that women and children were also among the victims. Call of Duty Modern Warfare takes that location, the Highway of Death, and uses it as the scene of a Russian attack on innocent civilians. The Russians bombed it during the invasion, killing the people trying to escape, says one of the game's major characters. Last week, Sony confirmed it would not be selling Call of Duty Modern Warfare on the PS4 PlayStation Store in Russia. Infinity Ward has tried not to shy away from the horror of war with Call of Duty Modern Warfare, even though a significant portion of the game is set in a fictional country. But it also includes a terrorist attack in London and conflict in other real-world locations, and its use of white phosphorus as a kill streak reward in the game's multiplayer has been seen as tactless at best. So this happened. I haven't played the game yet.
No,
I've got it. It's installed. I've been playing the Outer Worlds, and I'm not in a rush to make a video about Call of Duty, so I haven't actually. But it's going to take 3 hours to finish the campaign. Like, another hour in multiplayer. I've seen some stuff for the campaign, so obviously I've seen this. I saw this blowing up on Twitter. The shoot the baby thing, I've seen. Which I don't know how many like spoilers you want from
I don't care about
from
spoilers
COD, like
for a Call of Duty game. Trust me on that.
Yeah, I saw that, and then very quick succession, I saw the thing where it's like, oh, when you're doing the mission, I think they showed part of it off at some point where you're in London and it's night vision, and you're sneaking through a house, like a block of flats, I think it is, and like you're sort of like bashing doors down, and like there's like civilians, but they could be terrorists, and you have to try and make that snap decision. Like it's like the whole like thing of the scene, and there's like one where there's like a woman and a baby, and like you can shoot the woman, and then like you can't shoot the baby. If you pull the trigger, it just comes up, goes to black screen before anything happens, and just says children are not combatants, and then it reloads your last checkpoint. And it says children are not combatants, but then there's a whole level where you could play as a child soldier killing Russian soldiers. So I mean, mixed messaging, but yeah, like there's a scene where it's like a baby can be shot intentionally but you don't get to see any of the graphic shit, like, which is cool. But like, I saw those two things and I was like, oh, it's Call of Duty just trying to be controversial again.
There's no doubt about this is a very messy subject matter. Basically, I will also throw in the thing of that. I like with a person like myself who is learning on development and everything like that. I am very pro the artistic vision, but I can also see and changing a couple of things if happens in like real worlds. I am pro that when it comes to like artistic vision if it works for the game and everything. But I'm also on the side of that. If some things are going to offend people, it's going to be controversial. Some people are not going to like it. Some people are not going to enjoy it. It's going to rough them in a certain way. Now, we now know why, because why Sony has took it from the store on Russia. We now know why that is.
Yeah, we heard about that first, which was
that was
weird.
the first thing I heard about before this. Call of Duty games are very in-your-face games when it comes to the action. They also have used very open world, proper world things that have happened in real life. Like they have in one of the Call of Duties or Modern Warfare games of a mass shooting in a airport, I believe. That
no
was
Russian,
very dubbed very controversial, even to Ben and everything. And I think this is basically the same thing. It's going to ruff some people's feathers. There's no doubt about it. I would never begrudge anyone at the same time for that. It's a slippy slope, this one, for me personally. Like I say, I'm very pro the artist, the creative process and everything. If you've done it to piss people off, then bad you. And there's no doubt about it, but that'll never come out. We know that.
Yeah, we'll never say that, right?
Yeah, so that's how it is for me personally. It's a very slippy slope.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, it fucks me off just because it's Call of Duty doing its Call of Duty thing. Like, you mentioned no Russian in Modern Warfare. Whereas, like, that scene was there, like, to be controversial. And you know it was there to be controversial because there's an option to just skip it and have it, like, be summarized as a news report, meaning that the actual act of doing that scene was not integral enough to the story for it to be, like, an important part of the story. And then again, they've done this so many times in the past, but like that's what fucks me off about it. Not necessarily the actual thing itself, but like they didn't need to recall that particular scene on history. Like they could have just made something up, like. But like if they're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna tell a serious, gritty story about the realities of war, then why? If that's what your aim is, you don't need to change the the identity of the people who committed this atrocity, like, right? Just stick with what actually happened.
No doubt. I do see. Like I said, it's a very slippery slope. That's like I say, I wouldn't begrudge anyone's side personally when it comes to it. I won't like this. This is far more controversial than, no offense to any of the haters out there, for Battlefield 5's controversial.
Oh god,
the woman on the disc and everything. That's just stupid. That just proves even more how stupid that one was. When this one, well, one, women were in World War II. People, check your history.
Well,
but this is truly has affected people and everything.
Yeah.
And everything.
Well, it was a thing that happened in the real world.
Yeah.
But did you go on Twitter? Like, have you seen the stuff on Twitter about the Highway of Death stuff? Like, obviously, there's the stuff where it's like they did the thing, but it's like there's actually people have actually got screenshots of other people's Twitter. So there's a ton of people like defending Modern Warfare and who made this one, Infinity Ward. I'm going to say Infinity Ward. So there's a ton of people defending Infinity Ward for doing this by saying, oh, it's fiction, it's made up, like, such and such. And then, like, people are taking screenshots of them saying that, and then screenshots of the Battlefield 5 controversy, where the same Twitter account has been talking about Battlefield 5, complaining about historical accuracy.
If it was all fiction, then I would say there's no controversial here. To me personally, if it was all fictional, but we know it isn't. It's not. It says they talk about some of the London tax what happened and everything. But they've also changed some things up, and they've also made some things that are fictional.
It's inspired, like the Highway of Death. The Highway of Death was inspired by a real world event, and that's cool. You can use that in your fictional game about warfare, but to then completely go, oh well, America couldn't have done this, like Russia did it. It's like, well, that's not that's a line that's crossed. But yeah, I find it really funny. Like, I actually found it hilarious that the people who were complaining about historical accuracy in Battlefield 5 would also not complain about historical accuracy of this scene in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Ha, you dickheads.
Double standards.
Because it didn't have anything to do with women. The scary women. They're so scary, Moody.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm marrying one.
Just out of terror.
Out of terror.
Out of terror that she might have been a World War II protagonist.
Hell yeah.
Let's move on before I get Mooney into the doghouse. Number 5. Microsoft revives Xbox All Access program and now includes next-gen upgrade option. This is from Michael McWhirter over at Polygon, who writes, Microsoft is bringing back its Xbox All Access plan, the monthly subscription that includes membership to Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass, as well as Xbox One hardware, all for a discounted monthly fee. This time, however, Microsoft is giving subscribers the option to prep for a next-generation console upgrade when the next Xbox, named Project Scarlet, launches in holiday 2020. Xbox All Access originally launched in summer 2018 as part of that subscription for $21.99 a month for 24 months. Subscribers get an Xbox One S, Xbox Live Gold, and Xbox Game Pass, and for $34.99 a month, these are dollars by the way, subscribers got an Xbox One X in addition to Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass. There was no upfront cost, and at the end of the 24-month subscription period, subscribers kept the Xbox One hardware they paid for. The revised Xbox All Access plan will be available on October 29th in Australia at retailer Telstra, November 5th in the UK, woohoo, at Game and Smith's Toys, and November 18th in the US on Amazon.com. The current iteration of Xbox All Access, which starts at $19.99 in the US, will include the following: Xbox One console, Xbox One X, Xbox One S, or Xbox One S all digital bundles in the US and UK, Xbox One X for lots of different types of Xboxes.
A lot of Xbox.
Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for 24 months. Which you can also get Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass on Xbox One and PC. That's basically what Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is. I own it. And an option to upgrade to Project Scarlet available in holiday 2020. Then there's a big quote about what it is. The only part that's really relevant to what we're talking about is it's a limited time offer this holiday season. Players in the US and UK who purchase an Xbox One X with Xbox All Access before December 31st, 2019 have the option to upgrade to the next Xbox console in as few as 12 months and once Project Scarlet has officially launched. So you can upgrade to whatever the next Xbox will be. The Xbox 4.
This is nothing but simply glorious. This is fan-freaking-tastic.
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing. And both me and my partner have already talked about it. We're going to go in on Tuesday, the 5th of November, to have a look, to go and speak to Game and have a look, see what's what here. What is it? I want the X. Give me the X.
Yeah, I believe it starts in this country from £17.99. Mm-hmm. That was for the S.
£30, I believe, for the X.
I will fucking pay that. I just want to know how much it'll cost to upgrade in 12 months, because I'm not going to do it if I'm not going to upgrade in 12 months. That's the only thing. I have a feeling that Scarlet's coming out in November though.
I think everyone has a feeling.
I think this is sort of confirming that Scarlet's going to be out in November, because 12-month period, right?
Too right. Yeah, too right. It's the perfect time for them, basically. They did it for the X. No, not the X. The original Xbox One. Yeah. The PlayStation 4 did it for the X.
And the X, to be honest.
As well. Yeah. So it's the perfect time. Bring it out. Do it. And this is just. It's just. it's the perfect thing because it's just like what you can do for mobiles.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a mobile subscription, basically, and that's the perfect thing for it. It's nice and cheap. You get 24 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate that has Game Pass and Gold in it. That's an amazing thing. It has everything. You are
Yeah.
covered for you've got over 100 games. You are covered for online. You're gonna get
And you get the PC version of Game Pass as well.
that as well, and you get the quote unquote games for free with Gold Live. I don't
Okay.
consider it free, but whatever.
This argument has been going on for a very long time, and I haven't had a chance to speak my side of it for a very long time. Let me just point this out here right now. The games on Xbox Live Gold are free. If you're an Xbox Live Gold subscriber, those games are free. I don't subscribe to Xbox Live Gold to get free games. I subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate, so I can have Game Pass, and so I can play multiplayer games with my friends on my Xbox. The games are free because they're not factoring me into the thought process of me paying for Xbox Live Gold. Hence, they're free. Suck it, Fixer. He's never going to watch this anyway. I'm gonna get it, or I'm gonna tweet it at him. I'll make a clip, and I'll be like, "Suck it, Fix."
But I think this is amazing.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic deal. I was like, I want an X. I've wanted an X since it came out, but I've never been able to like justify spending £449 on it. Obviously, it's cheaper now because it's been out for a while, but at that point, it's like I could spend £300 on an X, or I could just wait until Scarlet comes out. Now, like, subject to its status and credit checks and whatever. Like I already spend $10.99 a month on a Game Pass Ultimate, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's £30 a month, I'm going to be spending £19 a month to get an Xbox One X, and then to upgrade to Scarlet in November, December time. Hell yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent. It's a pro consumer, and that's I'm going to say right now, PlayStation and Nintendo, I think you need to get onto this. I think you need to look into this personally.
Yeah,
especially PlayStation.
PlayStation too.
Yeah, definitely PlayStation. But I wouldn't besmirch it for Nintendo either. Your Nintendo come across a company that's very pro consumer all the time, especially when it comes to releasing their games. And I think if you're going to do that, you need to do something like this for me personally.
Fair. But yeah,
especially if the rumors are true for a more powerful version of that console one day.
I hope not. I really hope Nintendo won't do that. They probably will, though.
You want the power.
The power. Nintendo's not about power, though. Nintendo's about good games. But it sounds.
But made it more powerful.
Everybody wants power.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's it's just about getting more people in to the Xbox ecosystem, and it'll work because people can spend people are a lot more likely to be able to spend £30 a month on getting an Xbox than they are to drop £300 all at once, right?
I'll say one thing: this for me is confirmed more than ever that the next Xbox is going to be £500.
Yeah.
I think everyone was also buying that, but I think this is just saying straight away. It's
100%. 100%.
Still, if PlayStation don't do the subscription thing, that for me says PlayStation are gonna go the $3.99 route. I just have this feeling they want to come in out cheaper still.
We'll see. Because I've very much got my flag nailed to the mast that PlayStation are gonna fucking fuck up and be super expensive. So one of us will be right, and one of us will be wrong.
But were one of us right and wrong for last week's predictions, Amy?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment. First, there's some games coming out this week.
Too early of a segue.
Too early segue. There are some games and hardware out this week. So on November 4th, we have the release of the Xbox Elite 2 controller. I've seen one in real life. I've now seen one. It's so sexy. Like, I just bought this because I was like, I don't need an Elite controller. And now I'm like,
I need an Elite controller.
Kind of want an Elite controller.
They're so pretty, Amy. They're so
It's so
pretty.
pretty. I've had the original one before. I
Designs.
didn't like it.
Yeah, so sexy. I like it. It's my precious. I don't let anyone touch it except me.
No, when I had mine, I love the bumpers and stuff,
Mm.
but no one else liked it. It was quite funny. Everybody was like, "Oh, I don't like this. I can't aim, and it's too heavy." And I was like, "This control is fucking amazing. Fuck off, then I'll use it."
Give it to me. To me.
Out on November 5th, we have Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC, Planet Zoo on PC, Just Dance 2020 on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, Wii, and Stadia. That's the original
I
Wii.
love that they still do the Wii. I
They
love
do
it.
It's
I
great.
want to know how many people still buy for the Wii. I want to know this because they gotta be selling enough for them to think we can still do this.
It must be financially viable because they've skipped the Wii U, like, but they're still doing the
Didn't
Wii.
everybody? Didn't everyone skip
Yeah,
the Wii?
I mean, I didn't. I had a Wii U.
I did.
I did. It was good. It was a good. It was a shit console, but it had some good games on it. Stadia is also coming out. Just Dance is also coming out on Stadia. And Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 is coming out on Switch on November 5th. On November 8th, we have Need for Speed Heat on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, Death Stranding on PS4, Jumanji the video game on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, and Layton's Mystery Journey, Cat Riel, and the Millionaire's Conspiracy Deluxe Edition, also on Switch. That's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. So lastly, go on.
I have
go
to
on.
say one thing. Switch on Nintendo. Why are you bringing the Mario and Sonic one out now? Bring it out for when the Olympics
know, right?
come out, for God's sake.
Like, bring it out next summer. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Because you're going to be, this is the thing, you're going to be advertising it there. You're probably going to see Mario and Sonic running along in some sort of advertisement in summer next year. So I'm just like, push it then, not now. It's just because it's coming out. It's
Crazy.
It's coming out on a lot of games coming out.
It's coming out on Death Stranding. Like, it's coming out right before Death Stranding.
Good God. So it's literally going to die.
It's not going to do well.
It's going to death.
Normally, that's where we'd end the podcast. But last week I invented a game, and I enjoyed it, and I'm going to keep doing it. Last week we played Guess the Score. Mr. Mooney was my co-host and guest last week, and we took turns trying to guess what the OpenCritic average would be for 3 games that were either released last week or had their review embargoes up last week. So how did we do? Well, the 3 games that we did, Death Stranding obviously was the main one because the review embargo lifted on November 1st. Mr. Mooney predicted an OpenCritic average of 94. I predicted an OpenCritic average of 88. And at the time of recording, the OpenCritic average for Death Stranding was 86. I didn't expect it to be that low.
I went for the confidence because they're revealing the reviews this a week early. So I was thinking, oh, they're going very confident. They're very confident in this game. And I thought it was going to be higher. At least 80 is the minimum.
Yeah.
And 80, even though we discussed it a little bit on Twitter, apparently if it's 80, it's not good enough. Apparently,
Oh, no, it's terrible.
It's still a good score.
If a game is below 90 on Metacritic, it's trash. If it's above 80, it's overrated. That's how it works. That's how Metacritic works.
So that means the one we're going to be talking, the other game is trash as well. All the other two games are trash.
Yeah, Death Stranding is both trash and overrated.
Yeah, all at the same time. Damn.
It's overrated trash, according to Metacritic fans. We also predicted the score for Luigi's Mansion 3. Mr. Mooney said it would get an 85. I said it would get an 81. And at the time of recording, it has an OpenCritic average of 86. So Mr. Mooney
I'm so close.
definitively won that one.
So close.
I was praying for like one more review that would just bump it up by one. And
But how funny is it that right now, Luigi Mansion and both Death Stranding are the same score?
I know, it's great. I love it.
That's so good. And they're so different games. And that's what I love even more about it. They're so completely different games.
Why?
You can get enjoyment out of both of them.
Yeah, like they're both 86, but it's like you can't compare the 2 games, right? Like they're both as enjoyable as each other
That's true.
on average, based on critics. We also guessed the score for After Party. Mr. Mooney went for a 70. I went for an 85. And After Party, at the time of recording, has an OpenCritic average of 78. So pretty much split the difference. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that as well.
I forgot that indie games generally tend to skew lower than AAA games, unless they're like critically revered.
That's true.
But I enjoyed that game so much, Mooney. We're going to do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
I've got 6 games on the list this time. That are all coming out in the... No, I've got 5 games. One of them's over. I've got 5 games. We're going to guess the OpenCritic average, and then next week we'll find out how close we were. First up, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. What do you think?
75.
75. I'm writing them down this time. I had to go back through the video just before we started recording to see what we'd done. So you get 75. I'm going to say the sex number, 69, is my number. I've got them all written down on my phone already. What I'm guessing. I don't know what Moody's guessing. Next up, Need for Speed Heat.
I completely forgot this game was coming out.
Bodes well, right?
I haven't seen anything for it. Like, do we know this game's coming out?
I don't think so, no.
Well,
apparently it's not coming out on Steam.
Apparently. 51.
51. Yeah, see,
They are...
I remember the last one. I never played it. I remember the reception of the last one.
So I'm going 51.
If you go on 51, I've got 60 written down on here. A nice solid 6 out of 10. So here's the curveball. Because I know you know nothing about this game. I know nothing about this game. Jumanji, the video game. What do you think?
35.
Wowzers, 35.
They are showing nothing about this game. Just like EA doing nothing with Need for Speed. There's a reason for this, people.
I have it down as 58, so 35. Damn, that's low. That's low. Even for OpenCritic, that's really low. Movie video game.
Yeah,
those are sometimes good nowadays. Just Dance 2020.
They always make money for this game.
What's the OpenCritic average going to be? Because I'll be honest, I haven't a fucking clue.
Yeah. I want to go 60.
60. I've got 71. And lastly, the game on this list that I'm most looking forward to, Planet Zoo.
I believe it comes Game Pass.
Does it now? I did not know.
I believe. I'm not sure.
That's going to be like every week now. There's going to be a game where I'm like, oh, I really want this game. Oh, I've just got a notification. I can download it right now. Game Pass.
Planet Zoo. I've liked the trailer for it when I saw it at E3. I thought it was an adorable little trailer. People like these type of games.
Oh, I love this game. I played it. I played it at EGX.
Did you?
I broke it.
Amy broke it. She loved it so much.
I loved it so much. I broke the last tutorial mission. Didn't get my gold star.
So don't be surprised if this gets delayed now, people. You can blame Amy.
It's all my fault. No. If a game ever gets delayed, it's Jason Schreier's fault.
That's true, but he might tweet at you saying,
"Yeah, what'd you do?
This is Amy's fault."
What did you do? Yeah.
I don't know why I feel that I'm gonna go high for this. I'm gonna go 83.
Oof.
I don't know why.
No.
Just have that, I'm feeling it.
I've got an 81 on mine, on my phone. So we're close on that one. We're close on that one. Ooh. If it's 82, I'm going to be pissed. Cool, man. So let's have a look at that. You are really, really a lot more pessimistic than I am this week. Looking back on that.
Need for Speed, I have no faith in. Jumanji, no.
Jumanji, one of them. Yeah, okay. I can get that, but it's fun. I like this game. It's fun. I can.
I'm intrigued by one thing. I won't change my answer. That type of guy, but I am very intrigued.
Go on. I want to know what are you intrigued by?
I want to know the other Metacritic scores for Just Dance.
Go on OpenCritic because they're
better.
They don't weight their scores, but they also don't like differentiate between platforms, so you get an average of the whole thing, which is why I use OpenCritic.
That's much better.
And I didn't look it up either. Like before we did this, I was going to, and then I forgot.
Just Sky. I said Just Dance.
So while you're doing that, so for Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, you've guessed 75, I've guessed 69. Need for Speed Heat, you've guessed 51, I've guessed 60. Jumanji, the video game, you've guessed 35, I've guessed 58. Just Dance, you've guessed 60, I've guessed 71. And Planet Zoo, you've guessed 83, and I've guessed 81.
So Just Dance 2015 is a 74 on average.
That's higher than what both of us have said. And fuck it, we'll keep track of
Just
scores.
16 is 76.
Yeah, I think we've both gone a bit low. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm tracking it now. So currently, Mr. Mooney is one nothing up, but I'm gonna pull it back with this one. This week's, I can feel it. I can feel it. Feel it. Might just dance myself. That is going to do it for episode 181 of the Words About Gamescast. Thank you for joining me, Mr. Mooney. Maybe we should just make this a permanent thing.
I am very expensive.
I've got a pot noodle.
I was going to say I'll take the Xbox controller.
And I've got an old Xbox controller where the rubber's broken off of the.
No, you can't. The new one.
What new one? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any more. I've got a copy of Chuck Season 4 on DVD, which I keep forgetting to take back to Keith's. So I can offer you these things. No, fine. And you can have my Mario Maker.
Nice.
Yeah, man. There are perks to my day job, and that was one of them. I don't know why I have a pot noodle in my...
Pot noodles.
Thank you for joining me, Mr. Moody. It's a pleasure as always.
Thank you.
Some
say I am pretty glorious.
I would say you're very glorious. It's branding. Glorious. Say bye.
Bye.